Hello, welcome to BGP Masterclass. Today will be discuss about BGP Next-Hop-self and other two way. Okay, so I have done some lab here. So if you see here, R1 R2 has S1 and R3 has S2. Okay, so, and we will be configure R1 and R2 OSPF and iBGP neighbor using loopback interface. Okay, and R2 R3 has a eBGP neighbor and eBGP network, and this network is 1 2 network, and this is 2 3 network as per router name. Okay, and another thing is we configure here a loopback 111 222 and 3333. Okay, so we'll be do the lab, we'll be start the lab. So how will be configure, I will be explain briefly. So what we do this lab. For example, here one network is there, 3.3.3.3. Okay, when R1 try to access 333 network 33 network, so R1 send a packet to 33 network. So if R1 know this, where is the destination network, so R1 can access this segment of R3. Okay, so so this is the three-way we can solve. When R1 send a packet to the R3, so R1 should know the R3 destination network. Okay, destination, this is the destination network to 3 segment. Okay, so destination network should be R1 no. So we can solve this three-way. First, number one, we can advertise this network in R2. This network, the 2 3 network in R2. So R1 know how to reach this this interface IP. So that this is the one way. Another way to number two way is that we configure the Next-Hop-self here. Now what is the Next-Hop-self? When a router learn a route from the eBGP network, then advertise to the iBGP network, it by default it not change the next of attribute. Okay, when this this one learn a 3333 prefix. Okay, so that packet when advertised to the R1, so for that packet next of IP will be this interface IP. Okay, this interface IP for this packet R1, when R2 when receive a packet from the R3, when R2 receive that, when R2 when R2 learn a packet from the eBGP network, that packet when advertised to the iBGP peer, by default it not change the next of attribute. When you configure the next of self here, so R2 will be change that packet next of IP will be own IP address. Okay, so that R1 can reach this network. Okay, this network will do the lab one step by step. Okay, another point is, three-way I'll tell. Another point is, here we configure the one route map, and in that route map we will be change the for never we change for never any of the network for to access the never next of will be U only, R2 only. Okay, R2 only, so that we can access the R3 network. Okay. So one by one will be do this lab. I have done some basic configuration. I have done some basic configuration here. See here. Done some basic configuration here. If you see here, this is the R1. Just I do those so IP interface brief. Just I assign the IP address all the three routers and not configure anything here. So run. session BGP. Okay, BGP not configure all the router and not configure OSPF also any of the router, and not configure loopback interface also. Okay, so let's start the configuration. So configuration here is there. Configuration here is there. This is the lab name is the BGP Next-Hop three-way. Okay, R1 do the this configuration. R1 do this configuration. R1 what saying? Configure the loopback and configure the OSPF and direct connected. This is the 1-2 network. Direct connected network and advertise the on loopback and configure the BGP and using a loopback make as a iBGP never. Okay. Copy and paste in R1. Okay. Now comes to the R2. R2 is configure the loopback. After that we advertise OS configure OSPF and direct connected network advertise and on loopback advertise and configure iBGP using loopback interface and configure eBGP neighbor. This one 23.3 is the neighbor in AS2 and advertise the 12 network because R2 advertise 12 network. I'll be tell here because when R1 try to send a packet to R3 should know where know the source network. Okay, source network. So that in R2 advertise this network, so R1 can know where is that packet come from. Okay, which network that packet is come from. Okay, so that we advertise. So advertise 12 network in R2. Okay. Advertise loopback and configure the OSPF and configure the BGP using loopback interface and make as a neighbor is a eBGP neighbor R2 R3 and advertise this network. Okay, 12 network. Copy and paste here R2. Okay, now configure the R3. R3 is also a simple thing. Configure loopback and configure loopback and advertise that loopback because R1 try to ping that loopback and make only after 23.2 is the eBGP neighbor. Okay, simple configuration. Okay, so configuration part is done. Configuration part is done. If you see here, all the configuration I will show you. So run session BGP. Okay. So here what configuration? Just in R1 we measure iBGP neighbor. 2 is the neighbor and loopback using loopback interface IP. Okay. And R2 also what we configure I'll show you here. R2 also configure advertise this 12 network then using loopback interface iBGP neighbor and configure eBGP neighbor 23.3 is the S2. Okay, R3 also do the same configuration. R3 also same configure the network because R1 try to access the network and make only this neighbor 23.3 is the eBGP neighbor. Okay, that's only configuration. So we will be start the one by one configuration. First step is the we will be advertise this network. So if you see here R1 show IP BGP. So IPBGP. So this is the only valid path, not best path. Okay, because R1 don't know how to reach this 23 network. If you see routing table also, R1 don't know how to reach the 23 network. Okay, 23 network how no. So if you ping also, it will be not reachable. Then ping also not reachable because R1 don't know how to reach 33 network this 23 network. If you see here, so IPBGP R2, so R2, this is 23 network is direct connected, no, direct connected. So R2 can know the how to reach. If you ping here, R2 know how to reach because this network R2 know. For the BGP rule, for BGP rule, when a router learn from the when a router router learn a route from the eBGP neighbor that advertise to the iBGP neighbor, it not change the next hop attribute, okay, by default. So that R2 when advertise that packet to the R1, that next hop IP will be not change. Next hop IP will same as it is same. If you see here, next hop IP will be R2 has the 23.3. If you see in here also, same next hop IP for 3 network 23.3. Here also 3 network 23.3. So we will be solve this three way. First will be solve. We configure the this network command so that R1 know how to get 23 network. Okay. So just I configure in R2 this 23 network, so R1 R1 can know the how to reach. Okay, we done the configuration here. Now if you see routing table of R1, R1 know how to reach the 23 network, which is the 23 segment. Next up is the 23 network. Okay, if you ping here, ping 3.3.3.3, it reachable. Why reachable? So next stop R1 know how to reach the next stop because next stop route already is there. Okay, next stop will be reached via R2. Okay, and this for this network next stop is this one, and R1 know how to reach the next stop. Okay, so this is the one way. I'll be remove that configuration and do the other way. Okay, no no network. Okay, R2. I remove this configuration. Now if you see here, so IPBGP. So IPBGP. So now this network remove. Okay, this network remove. Now R1 now it will be not reachable because R1 don't know how to reach the 23 network. The second way we discuss about Next-Hop-self. Okay, we configure the Next-Hop-self in R2. To configure the Next-Hop-self. So if you are see so IPBGP and for three network is showing the 23 network. Okay, if you are see next configure the Next-Hop-self. Now you are see if you show IPBGP. See here, I do the clear the BGP. Okay, now if you are see next so IPBGP, see previously next stop is the 23.3.3. Now when configure the next stop self, now showing the own IP address. Okay, router now is configured own IP R2 IP address. Okay, because we are configured as a R1 R2 loopback interface, it's showing the loopback. If you are configure R1 R2 as a real interface IP, so it will be configured the that real interface IP. Okay, so ping 3.3.3.3 now reachable. Okay, now second condition also done. Okay, first condition we advertise this network, and second condition we are using the loop Next-Hop-self. Okay, now we remove and do the third condition. Okay, Next-Hop-self. We remove the Next-Hop-self. Now if you see here, so BGP Next-Hop is the this one. Now if you are see so IPBGP, it should be clear. Okay, now if you see show IP BGP, now for 33 network is the 23. Now you are not able to ping because R1 don't know how to reach the 23 network. Okay, so now we will be configured the one route map and change the next hop IP address. Now what telling next hop IP address? So R1 we configure in R1. We'll telling the in R1 for if for never R2 every what network we have next hop IP address only you only. Okay, R2 only. In R1 we configure one route map and telling that next hop IP address is 222 and apply to the in BGP apply to the never in R1. Okay, so already we done this configuration in R1. This is the configuration, very simple configuration. Configuration one route map name is the next stop change. Okay, then set next stop IP. Don't confuse, this is not a next stop self, this is only next stop. Okay, don't confuse, this is next stop self, this is only next stop. We change the next stop IP. Okay, change next stop IP. So when I configure the one route map and change the next stop IP address and apply in that route map in direction, because outbound traffic we need to apply in inbound direction. Okay, so copy and paste in R1. Done. Okay, done. Okay, now we clear the BGP. Here also do clear the BGP. Okay, now we'll be see here show IP BGP. Now see next stop IP will be changed. Okay, next stop IP will be 20 next stop IP will be 22. If you are ping here, ping 3.3.3.3, it will take a little bit time because just now we clear the BGP session. It will take little bit time. Okay, done. See, now done na? Now will be changed. Okay, if you see in R1 configuration, so run session BGP. So R1 this is the configuration we make as a never using loopback and change the this configuration we will be used. Okay, route never route map apply, and if you see the route map configuration also. Okay, this is the route map configuration, the simple configuration. And R2 now we done the three steps. What step we done for this lab? First this lab three-way R1 can reach the R3 R1 can reach the R3 loopback. Okay, first is the we advertise 23 network, 23 this network. So R1 know the how to send the, if R1 send the packet to R3, so what is the destination network R1 should know. So that R1 if we advertise in R2 this network, R1 know destination network. Then we configure the Next-Hop-self in R1. So R1 will be for when receive a packet from the eBGP neighbor, that a packet advertised to the iBGP feed, that it will be changed the own IP address. So R1 know how to reach the destination network. Then configure the route map and apply to the R2 in neighbor. Okay, so this BGP is this lab is done. Please subscribe our channel to get more BGP video. Thank you for watching.